Hello EDUSPLORERs, thanks for joining us again and welcome back to another informative video about Africa. In this episode today, we are looking at the top 5 most valuable companies in the African continent. How we come about this particular selection, based on research and also looking at some numbers that will provide you a clear details so the next time you plan on investing or working in one of those companies, then you know you're working with one of the most valuable companies in the continent. So without any much delay, we should just go straight into it. In allowing me to look at that before we jump into that, annual revenue have been used in actually coming up to this particular area. Annual revenue is the sum of the total money generated by provisions of particular service or products. Many corporations in Africa have revenues ranging in tens of billions of dollars, and these trends represent a strong trust in those particular companies and overall African economy in different ways. It is important and indicators to show investors that those companies that are African owned and doing business in the continent are something to reckon with. According to McKinsey's research, looking at different areas, they've confirmed that these particular companies, top of the 25%, are domiciled companies in the African continent, and they are very valuable in terms of their operation. Across the whole continent of Africa, you can see different investment areas going on in terms of the Chinese doing lots of crucial importation and also transportation networks and major infrastructural projects. Gone are those days when Africa was seen as an area or a continent based on poverty, war and also disease, and diamond explorations. Considering the African Continental Free Trade, it is a flagship project of the African Union, established in 2018 to create a single market for goods and services, facilitated by movement of persons to promote industrial development, sustainability as well and inclusiveness in socio-economic growth to deepen the economic integration of Africa. As of the 5th of February 2021, 54 member states of African Union have signed this particular agreement, with 36 countries deposited their instrument of ratification that started trading under the AfCFTA agreement that began in January of 2021. The agreement connects about 1.3 billion people across the continent, with a combination or combined GDP estimated at about 3.4 trillion of US dollars. The AfCFTA is the most exciting moment for the continent of Africa in this regard. As for Africa's post-COVID-19 recovery, the agreement offers opportunities for collaboration, action, allowing Africans to do business with each other and strengthening African resilience. But that we've conducted, Rwanda, Sudan, Ethiopia have an estimated growth of just over 7% at above average. African economy stands today at around 2.6 trillion, whereas annual consumption and business spending is around 6.6 trillion. If you look at countries like Egypt, Nigeria, and South Africa, collectively accounts to the largest percentage of the African GDP if you put that into perspective. How has Africa risen to this particular level as we're about to conclude on looking at these particular valuable companies in the continent? African population stands today at around 1.2 billion, which is expected to grow by more than 500 million by 2030. According to Research Institute, considering Brooklyn Institute, looking at about 80% of this strong growth is concentrated in urban areas, making Africa the fastest urban regions in the world. In this particular approach, African companies to compete in this area will drive African companies to compete and par with many companies across Europe, America, and also in different regions around the world. The African GDP will reach 29 trillion by 2050. In this episode, here are the top and most valuable companies in the African continent. If you are new here, we'd encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different networks. Number 1, actually, most valuable company in the African continent. You have the Sonatra Petroleum Corporation. The Sonatra Petroleum Corporation has an annual revenue of just over 23 billion based on 2020 figures. Headquartered in Algeria, Sonatra works in oil and gas markets of Algeria under the ownership of the Algerian government. The company generates around 23 billion during the coronavirus period, and also it is one of the biggest oil companies in the world. If you are new here, we would encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different networks. The second most valuable company in the African continent is Anglo American Platinum Company. If you consider the AMS, it has an annual revenue of over 13 billion US dollars. It's a market capitalization of 34 billion. Also, you understand that its headquarters in Johannesburg. The Anglo American Platinum Company is one of the biggest platinum producers in the world. If you consider this, at about 25 or 35% of the total platinum in the world is produced by the Anglo American Company. Number 2 most valuable company, the SASOL. SASOL has an annual revenue looking at 12.25 billion US dollars with the market capitalization of 9 billion. If you consider SASOL is headquartered in South Africa. SASOL designs the market's technology and develops world-class facilities to develop several commodity sources, having liquid fuels, good quality chemicals, and also low carbon electricity. SASOL was established in 1950 and is a leading company within the African continent. If you are new to our channel, we will encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. This number 4, SCOM. SCOM has an annual revenue of over 12 billion US dollars based on 2020 figures. It is headquartered in Sandton, South Africa. SCOM Holding SOC Limited is a renowned company in South Africa. The company is responsible for the supplying electricity to South African citizens, making it one of the most valuable African companies. About 95% of the energy used in South Africa mainly comes from SCOM's holding. Number 3. Number 5. MTN Group. MTN has an annual revenue of just over 11 billion US dollars based on 2020 research, and also a market capitalization of about 9 billion. Headquarters in Johannesburg. MTN Group is a multinational mobile telecommunication group based in South Africa. The company was introduced in 1994 and had its headquarters in Johannesburg. The MTN Group decides in 2008 to buy Verizon business in South Africa, which was provider of information management to corporation customers in South Africa and 4 other African countries. Those were the top 5 most valuable companies in the African continent. For those of you working in those companies, I hope that you're experiencing some corporate social responsibility in different areas. We also know that there are other top companies across the African continent, but in our next episode and future episode, we shall be looking at the top 10 most valuable companies in the African continent. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. We're looking forward to meeting you in our next episode. And if you've worked in any of those companies, we would like to know what your experiences has been, or if you've done business or invest in some of those companies that we've just mentioned, we would like to also hear from you. For now, we encourage you to watch our other videos on our YouTube channel. We are looking forward to meeting you soon, and have a good day. Bye-bye.